It's time for that video. Yeah, let's do it. So on October 16th, basically, what was that? 3 months ago? 2 months ago? Month and a half ago? 2 months ago? Something like that. Basically about a month and a half ago. Started up my stream as was the usual day. We got into playing some Blue Protocols, some Crystal of Atlan, when I realized I didn't have access to my YouTube chat. And then I realized my YouTube stream wasn't live, only to find out that our YouTube channel got hacked. Massive bummer. So today I want to tell you guys a little bit about what happened, the process I went through to get it all taken care of. I can't really go into full detail about it, but we'll do a little bit of talking about what went into it and kind of how that process worked, to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit. A lot of misconceptions on how this process works and people really ready to jump down YouTube's throat about everything. And to be fair, I'm ready to get upset at them too, but this situation, 100% my fault. Absolutely on me. I should have known better. I should have had things put into place to keep this from happening. However, I didn't. And because of it, I paid the price. And the price right now is much higher than I really feel like it should be. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So yeah, on the 16th, I lost access to my channel. And you guys saw, actually funny enough, someone made a freaking YouTube video about this crap, dude. Craziness. But you guys saw basically this. You saw this screen here in place of what was going on my channel. There were these videos up, and dude, these guys who took over the channel and like hijacked it, they are efficient. I mean, massively efficient. So you're probably thinking, what happened? Was there some sort of breach? Like, how did they get into your content? Like, what's going on? So I come from a fairly, I don't want a competent networking background, but over the years, I got lazy, pretty heavily lazy, honestly. Usually I'm very specific about whenever I download new software, done that in a VM software, or in a VM, a virtual machine for those that don't know, to basically keep any form of access to my computer separate. So if something does slip through that shouldn't be there, then we make sure that it's, doesn't have access to the important things, right? I'm able to test it in that environment, make sure everything is up and running. But as time has gone on and on and on, like the general safety and security that's provided by most things is pretty all encompassing. Like it usually takes care of everything you really need to have it take care of. Well, that laziness unfortunately cost me, and I got into something I shouldn't have gotten into, and something else slipped through and got access to my gaming rig. Specifically, I mentioned access to my gaming rig because that's kind of how they had access to everything. Essentially, they had access to my gaming rig, which got access to my Windows passkey, which had access to my Gmail account. And unfortunately, I made a pretty big mistake with my Gmail account in 2 steps. The first one is that bypass login was on. Now, if you're someone who does YouTube content, I highly recommend disabling it. It is turned on by default. I know it's annoying to have to put in passwords and verification, all kinds of stuff, but I highly recommend, that you disable that pass by. And the second thing is I didn't have third-party authentication for my accounts. Usually I do third-party authentication, some form of a authentication key via a software that is not associated with the given platform that I'm on. There are a couple different options. I'm not going to tell you which ones to go for. Just Google them, look at them yourself. The reason I don't give these sort of recommendations out when it comes to security is because then I feel responsible if something like that doesn't work out for you. So do your own research, go out there, check on those sort of things. They're very important, very useful to have. But I did not have that enabled specifically for my main Gmail account. I had enabled for my other accounts. I remember whenever I was creating those accounts, my main Gmail account, I never updated and added that. And that is a massive security flaw on my end. Again, keep in mind, this is on me. I messed this up. Granted, they did get into the computer, they had access to a couple of things. And to be honest, I didn't even know they had access to the computer specifically. I thought they found another way around it because of missing that sort of authentication. So the way this process ended up working out is like someone contacted me through Discord. I had to lock down our Discord. We had to lock down everything basically. Someone contacted me through Discord and tell me, oh, you got mixed up in something else. We're gonna get your account back, so on and so forth, right? And this guy like wanted to jump into a Discord call, wanted to talk to me, all this other stuff. You know what? I bit for a little while, jumped into a call. I muted everything. This actually happened on stream, funny enough. You guys didn't know about it, but it happened on stream. I muted everything. It's like, oh, you're muted. You're not on stream or whatever. So like They very obviously wanted to be on stream. I'm not sure what was going on there in that situation. These are very, again, it didn't seem like it was anything malicious from the individual I was talking to. More so like it just felt like they were trying to waste my time very heavily in that situation. And it wasn't really apparent as to what was going on at that time, right? Like I'd never been in that situation beforehand. I was panicked. It was my YouTube channel. It's like a lot of things. It's basically, that's your business. It's like owning a shop and just watching it burn down in front of you, and there is nothing you can do to stop it. Or watching it being robbed through like through a through like I can't think of the word, through a camera or something like that, and you're just watching it happen as they're destroying your stuff, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. You just have to see it and sit there and know that it's happening. It was awful. It sucked. And I still went through my day of streaming without like freaking out or getting upset or whatever. Like, we locked in the Discord. My mods helped out a lot for that stuff. We took care of what we had to take care of. And we just kind of kept pushing. And I still kept streaming. I was streaming every day. This was a day 46 of me streaming every single day. And this happened on day 46. And let me tell you, it sucked. It was really hard not to just be pissed off the whole day. Because at that time, at least, I was like, these guys got into my stuff, and I can't believe this, and oh my God, or whatever. And then I rolled around to the next day. So we got through that day. I tried to figure out what was going on. I put out a tweet, got in contact with Team YouTube actually, to figure out what was going on. And it was only like a couple of hours, and I actually ended up, getting or hearing back from them the next day, following day, right? So following day, I get a notification from the same person, right? I hadn't blocked me like that. I get a notification from the same person saying, "Oh, we found this on your." Dude, they said that they found. What's I'm trying to find this a way that YouTube's not going to demonetize the video. I mean, we're not monetized anyway. I don't want them to block the video, basically. But they found content of the furry persuasion on my computer. Now, your boy likes cat girls as much as any guy. So I'm assuming this is what they were talking about or something along those lines. Also, we make jokes all the time about, for the love of Christ, don't download that stuff. Streaming exists for a reason. So I'm thinking to myself, what are they talking about? So I go in, this is at the beginning of my stream that day, right? This is on the 17th, beginning of my stream. I get these messages and I see this stuff and I'm like, what the hell? And I start just clicking through some stuff, and I happen to open up, I can't remember if it was like my pictures folder or if it was a documents folder. And I open it up and I see a folder in there that I don't recognize. And it's named very particularly. And I open the folder and I find just a bunch of like, I guess they were like games and downloaded photos and stuff like that, just in this folder. And I remember specifically looking, I was like, what the fuck is this? And I look over and I see something. And this is where I knew, I was like, okay, these guys got into my computer and they just pulled a bunch of crap and threw it into a folder. And they're like, okay, yeah, this is what you have. We're going to tell everyone about us. It was like Five Nights at Freddy's, but should I have to explain it to you? I'm assuming that's what that was that they were referring to as like content of the furry persuasion. But I was like, what the? And I was like, okay, hold on. And immediately, as soon as I saw that, it clicked in my head. I was like, they're in this computer. Immediately on stream, because it's funny because I have a second computer. I have a streaming machine and a gaming rig. Shut it down, pull everything down, and wipe the drive. Just immediately nuke the whole computer. Just completely. And as soon as I realized that was the type of conversation we were having, went ahead and blocked these guys, removed any sort of communication with them, everything like that, and just continued my process via the YouTube side of things. So that is pretty much the start and finish of what happened as far as that process went. Had they not said anything, I wouldn't have even realized they were in the machine itself. But when you see, like, there are certain things you're trained to look for when you work any form of or get into any form of network security, tampered metadata, files not in places you've originally put, edited modification timings and things of that sort. And there's like, that's not right. So went ahead and just nuked the drive, got rid of everything, moved the conversation with them. I mean, like, hey, look, if you're going to tell people, you had content of the hinty persuasion of yeah, dude, we play anime video games. Looking at big anime titties is something that we all do. Okay, let's be for real about it. We're playing PSO2, we're playing Blue Protocol, we're playing Crystal of Atlan, people are playing Aeon. We've been playing Where Winds Be. Like, this is not a new thing for us. This is very normal. Okay, and it's like going to tell my family about this. They're going to be like, what are you talking about? Half of them are not going to understand, first off. Other half are going to be like, yeah, we know. Like, it was just the fact that, like, I realized they're in the machine itself. I was like, That's the problem. So then pulling out full network diagnostic to make sure that no other machine's connected to my network itself, make sure there's nothing going on with any of my machines, any of my other devices, any devices that my mom has connected to the network, any devices that any of my family members have had connected to the network. I'm pretty sure my neighbors have tried to connect to our network beforehand, double check with them, like everything, full diagnostics of everything. And all during stream, by the way. Like, I might have been distracted that day. You guys might have noticed a little bit on the 17th, but full diagnostics of everything, right? Oh yeah, this is also when we noticed that I think it was was it Windows 10 or 11? I can't remember which one. I think it was Windows 11 had a bug where you weren't able to use your keyboard or mouse in the recovery version of the device. I remember how I got past it. I did something. I can't remember if I was like, I had to get a very specific keyboard and mouse, or we had to go through it a very different way, but we actually were able to get into it and recover the device and get all that taken care of. So that has to do with everything that like they got access to my machine and everything else. Like that was scary. Very, very scary situation, but I do things separate from my gaming rig and my streaming rig, as well as like things that I actually do for like my personal life and things of that sort. And there's more that came along with that as well, but that happened at a bit of a later date. So I'm going to explain that, as kind of like in a chronological sort of way. So moving forward, we have the YouTube side of things. So you guys are seeing that, this tweet I issued out, what was going on at Team YouTube. It'd be great if we had some information to handle this. I think they responded to this. Here we go. So they responded to this here specifically about some information. So all instructions listed here, blah, 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 blah. Already try these, then get back to them. And then eventually, I can't remember where it is. There is specifically an answer that they gave me where they said, hey, we're going to DM you. Can't remember. Okay, so yeah, the next step is getting some information. Share these. Channel URL, blah, blah, blah. I think this was it here? Yeah, we'll reach out to you via DM right now. So as annoying as it is, I kind of also understand this. This isn't a front-facing team. Essentially what happens here, and this is going to pull back a little bit of the veil on some people that don't understand this process, because I've worked at companies before. I've worked for Lenovo. I worked for Apple for a while, that work in customer service, where essentially tickets are generated via social media. There's like a social media aspect to how tickets are generated sometimes. And based on specific acts or certain things that are said, an automatic ticket is generated and sent over to an inbox of individuals to pull from, and then go ahead and get in contact with people. Usually this team YouTube account is probably not one person. It is an amalgamation of people that are responding to tickets that are added at Team YouTube based on templates that are placed out and of course, filled in, because a lot of these companies, you're not allowed to just answer however you want to answer. You have to answer in a very specific way that is predetermined by the legal team of that company. That's why you'll find in a lot of ways people are like, oh, this is just an AI answer. Or this is, an automated answer that they slip back to us. No, these are usually templates that someone is pulling from based on your specific situation. And then they pop that template in, they replace what they need to replace, and they send it out because they're required to. This was a very common thing that happened for me when I used to work for Apple. I couldn't send an email out to someone without following a specific template, because there's certain things that I'm allowed to say versus not allowed to say that have been cleared by our legal team specifically. So this is a very common thing that happens with companies. This isn't new or secretive or whatever. I can't tell you, of course, what those things are that are said. I also don't work for the company anymore, so it really doesn't matter. But like, it's very common. You only are allowed to say specific things. They are templated, but you are able to add like your own little flair in some situations. So some companies allow that, some companies don't, so on and so forth, right? That's why you guys have probably seen the tweets from me recently where I'm like, I can't believe people are this dumb about these sort of things. Like, oh AI, look, they made a mistake. The computer wouldn't have made the mistake that the person makes in most of these situations, to be honest. Yes, there is some sort of automated system that does review certain things, but a lot of times responses are from an individual. And I will show you guys an example of some of that in a little bit here, just a bit. So I finally get a DM, right? Like I get a DM from them directly. I start email correspondence. And to be honest, it was pretty easy to get my stuff taken care of. I have the benefit of my tax person being someone in my family. Mom does my taxes for me, which is kind of nice since that's what her business is. I can send her stuff. I was able to pull up my tax information from, previous years and all that sort of stuff. And I could just, block out the stuff they don't need to see, and then the stuff that they need to see, and then email it to them. And I got access, or I got an email to, first they took down the channel. First off, that was, when I tell you that was stressful, everything that had to do with me was just gone. Like if you were to Google Chrono Catastrophe, the only thing you found was this video, and that was it. All of my videos, everything just vanished, completely deleted, did not exist, was not an account, nowhere to be found. On top of that, even Even my family and Skulls, by the way, who are on my family plan for YouTube Premium, didn't have access to YouTube Premium because the account was gone. So that was an absolute nightmare of a situation to deal with, and that was really really scary, to be honest. But again, we get through it. It is what it is. Not a huge deal, but it's one of those situations where it's something that had to happen, basically. Fast forward a bit, we get in contact with them. I give them the information they're asking for, and then they shoot me an email from the recovery team to the email that provide for them to go ahead and recover the account now that it's been taken down. And I was able to go ahead and recover the account. I got access to the actual Gmail account pretty quickly. It took a little longer to get access to the YouTube account due to some verification situations. Basically, when something like this happens, they make you verify every single sign in, and even if you have the right password, a lot of times that doesn't even work. It took me like a week of basically correspondence with them back and forth to be like, hey guys, this just isn't working. Can we try this again? Like, I don't mind doing the recovery process again. We did it a second time. I made sure to sign into like some other devices and enable all forms of verification I possibly could. That way, whenever I need to sign into something else, I had a form of verification that it would accept. So the account's locked down now, beyond belief, down to a USB encryption that is literally tied to, or literally taped to my desk to be able to sign into. So even if something were to happen, I still would have access to that account again. So it is beyond lockdown, beyond belief, which is something to mention too. These guys, when they got access to the account, man, they removed the phone number, changed a bunch of things, reset encryption of the actual backup codes, and on top of that, set up a specific USB encryption key. Kudos on them for locking that shit down like no one could get access to it. But it also cued me into exactly how to lock down the account myself, because I did the same thing back after I got access back to the account. So teaching some lessons involved. We got to look at everything from a slight bit of a positive here. It sucked, but we got it taken care of. But again, scary, scary, scary situation into. And again, on me. I messed up. I got lazy. I got comfortable. Let's just say that's not the case anymore. That is no longer the situation itself. Now, fast forward a bit. Is there something else I missed in this? I wanted to mention something specifically. I'm doing all this off the top of my head, by the way, like just chatting with you guys basically about everything that's going on. Fast forward a bit, we gain access back to the channel. We have access to we've updated and changed everything. Things are looking the way they're supposed to be looking again. My banner's correct. My picture's correct. Man, they went kind of crazy with this. Like, they literally went to my homepage and they removed everything I had here. I haven't even gotten this all back. I don't remember what this looked like. I think I also had my shorts in here somewhere. I forget where these were at. But they essentially removed everything, created 3 like playlist groups of other videos, and then put them up here. So it looked like if you went to this channel, those videos were my videos. Like, they made it look like it was my videos up there and like named them properly and everything. Like, it was smart. Like, shit was crazy. They were really smart about how they did this, and it was annoying to have to go back and fix. YouTube unfortunately didn't just roll back the changes. I had to go back in and manually remove the actual playlists, move everything. I had to go back in and verify it after I removed it. That's why there was like a time when I went into my post, like you guys could probably see. Let me go back here really quick. So yeah, Ronda, while I do have the channel back, I can't change anything on it at the moment. I effectively is sort of a lockdown. You can ask anything you want about PS2, COA, actually daily streams, all that good stuff here. Cool. Update, still waiting on a response from Team YouTube, so I can finish cleanup. Yes, this is when I had access to the channel, but I couldn't like actually change anything, right? Like, it was totally locked down. I couldn't actually make any changes. So big pain in the ass to get it fixed, taken care of, but it is all done now. So what is the point of all of this video that I'm explaining all of this to you? So this brings it to the part of the situation that sucks. This brings it to the part I have to explain to you guys the next steps of me getting my YouTube channel taken care of, because right now, if you guys are watching my content, what you'll find is that we are completely unmonetized. And the reason for that is because of reused content. The content is clearly not original on this channel and may have been repurposed for another source without adding significant original commentary, substantial modifications, or educational entertainment value. Now, I assume this was from when they added all those videos from the playlists, or whenever they did the stream of that same thing over and over again or whatever, but it basically knocked out my monetization, and it's not re-enabled. And you're probably thinking, like, have you talked to YouTube about it? Have you asked them about it itself? What's going on there? Yeah, so here's the thing. All right, so here's some email correspondence with YouTube's partner program back and forth. I don't have my full emails open because it shows my email address. I don't want to give you my personal email. So I'll give you some paraphrasing of what I said in that situation. You kind of see that the important portions are kind of at the beginning anyway. So hello, thanks for working with me through this process. I was able to gain access to my account again. I'm still getting my monetization re-enabled. This was on November 12th. Say there, thanks for getting back to us. Happily recovered your Google account regarding your monetization. I've forwarded to our internal team with the investigation. We'll send you an appropriate update as soon as the news from the team. We appreciate your continued patience, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, cool. So, I waited a couple of days and it was the 17th. I said, yep, hi there. It's been a few days. And then the update on this. So the response I got is, hey there. Thanks for your response. Reviewed an update on your, received an update from our internal team. Don't know why I didn't hear from them, but okay, they got one. Upon further investigation, our internal team has decided to retain their decision to reject your appeal for monetization on your channel because they still flagged your channel as against YouTube's partner program terms and YouTube monetization and YouTube's channel monetization policies. Monetization on your channel has been disabled because we've detected significant invalid traffic on the ads on your channel. As a result, your channel will lose access to all monetization tools, features, and associations for YouTube partner program. You'll be able to reapply in 90 days. You can visit the Creator Studio for more information about your status, including you should do before you reapply for monetization. To learn more about the invalid traffic, you can see our comprehensive article and blah, 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 blah. Basically, what this is saying is because of the stream that was up and the ads, because of the traffic that was on the channel and the ads running, honestly, I think is because they botted the hell out of that stream because it was like 22,000. If I remember, let's see. It has like 22,000 people watching, which there's no way in hell out of very obvious scam that was being posted. But like 22,000 people watching, I'm pretty sure it's because they botted the hell out of it. And YouTube doesn't allow for that. So that's what I'm guessing was the problem here in the situation because they mentioned, invalid traffic account. That makes sense. So, obviously we didn't do that, right? So, I mentioned, hey, the internal team does understand that my account was hijacked and I was not the person who did those things to cause my channel to be demonetized, correct? And then I went on to mention, like, this seems a bit strange. I was the one who did this. You guys were the ones who helped me through this. So it's obvious this process. Yes? Cool. And this is their response to it. This is the last response that we had, and this is kind of where I stopped. Hi there. Thanks for your response. We've submitted a request to review your account and informed our internal team that the channel was hijacked. Our internal team reviewed the account, and our internal team has decided to retain their decision to reject your appeal to monetize your channel because they still flagged your channel as against YouTube's partners program and terms and YouTube's channel monetization policies. You may reapply monetization in 90 days as long as the channel meets eligibility requirements for the YouTube partner program. Thank you for your understanding. So this is where I'm like, you guys kind of suck, right? Because from what I understand, at the very least, based on the information that's been provided, my partner program, or I was removed from the partner program, or I couldn't apply for monetization because of the invalid traffic. Now, I can only assume that's still the case here because they don't specify. They said that it's still it's still flagged, as in it was previously flagged and it's still flagged. Maybe there's something new that's here. I don't know. But like, if we were to take a look at my actual dashboard in my channel, you can see notifications of them still working on cleaning up my channel around the time frame I was corresponding with them about this issue. So they were aware and were working on removing things that weren't supposed to be there. Like there's no money to be made because nothing is being monetized, right? Like you can't see, like I literally can't do anything and I can't reapply monetization until, where is it? January 19th. Now, this is a massive problem for me, like huge, because those of you guys who have been following my content know that I went back to school and have not been working. I have actually been doing YouTube content, and that mixed with, financial aid and all that stuff together, I have been able to stay afloat on maintaining bills. And then of course, going through school stuff and then making content. YouTube kind of covered like half of what I was doing. The other half was Twitch. And then the other portion of it was covered. Oh, I say like half. It was like a third, basically. It was like a third Twitch, a third YouTube, and then the other third of it was being assisted via my like you're given an amount for living expenses basically whenever you're going to school with any sort of can't remember the word. I'd say it's not a grant with loans or whatever, right? So all those things together were paying for it, and now they've lost a third of it. And this next month is going to be the first month I'm going to have nothing from YouTube, which is going to massively suck. Timing, awful. Should have done this like last month, but honestly, I've been just reeling from this situation overall, and I am going into places I never really wanted to go into in the first place to do this stuff. So what the hell are we going to do about this? The reality is I don't think there's anything I can do. if they literally know for a fact that the account was hijacked, I didn't do these things, and they're still maintaining that I'm not going to be able to reapply for 90 days, I can't reapply for 90 days. I have to wait until January 19th before I'm going to be able to reapply for monetization on the channel itself. Meaning I'm going to be basically out 2 months of, 3 months basically of revenue from YouTube that I have to supplement in some way, shape, or form. And it is not easy to do as a smaller creator in general, who is insanely busy all the time as it stands. Mostly my own fault, but it is what it is. So we are still making YouTube videos. I'm still going to make a YouTube. I have a YouTube video currently edited and ready to go live, and not very long. But what we are going to be doing is going another route as well. So I talked about this on stream a bit, but we decided to open up a Patreon. Now, here's how Patreon's going to work. Patreon is going to be available for all of my videos moving forward, of course, and any videos moving forward, any new uploads, anything along those lines. Available 100% ad free and 100% free of any sponsorship reads or anything along those lines. As mentioned in this post, is going to be on Patreon itself. So as mentioned in the video, if you came here from there, all content will also be available on the YouTube channel. So I will be uploading videos to the YouTube channel still. That way you guys aren't missing out on any content. I know it kind of hurts me in the long run when I do these sort of things, but I do not like the idea of paywalling content to a degree. I've always hated members only videos. I've always hated making sure people even we had a subsection in our Discord. I didn't use it. I used a lot of the section everyone is able to gain access to. Granted, yeah, we're not a very big channel, but I just don't like leaving anyone out in those circumstances or situations, feel like they absolutely have to subscribe, be able to interact with me. And that's not the case in the slightest. Am I going to recognize you a lot faster if you're subbed? Yes, in most cases that is going to happen. That is a fact. I apologize. But as far as this process goes, I do not want you guys to be locked out of content if you're not paying. The only difference in the subscription, or if you were to say subscribe to the Patreon, is as soon as videos are ready, they will go live. I will upload them immediately. I will go ahead and make a post and it will just go live because I don't have to worry about an algorithm or anything along those lines. It's people that are already paying to access my videos. They're available to them immediately. Again, also there'll be versions of them that have no ad reads, no sponsorship reads, anything along those lines. Totally taken out. Honestly, depending upon the circumstances, I may even take out the intro for you guys and make it just a streamlined process, very straightforward for you to jump into and just enjoy in the background. I'm also looking at maybe possibly making them into podcasts. And sometimes I do also just yap, so that might be available for you too here as well. That's something we're looking into. We'll see how that goes. But regardless, it's going to be available for you guys if you want to be a part of it. You do not have to be a part of it. There are multiple tiers to the Patreon. It also explains the different tiers. The base tier value is going to be $3. It's the same as what my memberships or my YouTube channel memberships were. And of course, there's there's other tiers above that as well in case you want to support more or have you. And of course, it's going to include extra benefits and bonuses. Like I mentioned here, this is going to remain even after the YouTube situation is taken care of. And we will, of course, go with the community and figure out things we can add to this, add different things as far as benefits, the different tiers. I will not be adding more tiers. It's very important to me that I leave the tiers as is. I don't want to try to milk more money out of you guys. If you decide to go for any of those tiers in the first place, I want to add value to the tiers that are available to you as it is. So it is very bare bones. This isn't something I've had a lot of time to put together, but I also don't have a lot of time any given day in the first place. I'm actually way past time. I'm supposed to be going to bed like 40 minutes ago. So as I'm recording this, I'm already behind schedule as it is. But it's nothing we really do about it. We do the best we absolutely can with what we have in front of us. So yeah, we're gonna open a Patreon. It's gonna be available. You absolutely do not have to go over to it to get access to the videos. The videos will still be available. They will still go out at a regular scheduled basis. Based on algorithm stuff over on YouTube, but over on Patreon, it'll be available immediately. All the things I mentioned, and will always be the case moving forward. And this is something we'll have access to as another way for you guys to support if you absolutely choose to. If you guys don't want to, if this isn't really your thing and you don't really we can't really support over on YouTube because my channel memberships aren't even working because of the whole monetization situation. You guys can always go over to Twitch. Twitch, you're able to subscribe over there. You can support me that way. I'm going to look into streaming back on Twitter again. We're going to take a look at that, but that means I have to pay, Elon $8 a month. I'm not really a big fan of that, but we'll see how that goes depending upon how support goes. We'll make sure we have those available to you guys. TikTok is a thing. Instagram is a thing. I may also just have a link open for you guys. I do have a Ko-Fi or Coffee, whatever it's called, that you can use to support if you want to go that route. Whatever is available for you guys, I'll make sure that if that's your choice, that's the choice you want to make, that is available to you. I don't want to pigeonhole you guys in anything specific, but I've heard this is a good route to go ahead and go about this process. So this does help me out. This does keep the channel up and running and afloat. But that's pretty much where we're going to be going through in this process itself. Whew, we've been yapping for 30 minutes on this process. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it there. The first video is actually, I think, finished uploading. I see that there is a problem with my video uploading at possibly too high of a bit rate for them. That's fun. We're leaving this in the video, by the way. But yeah, that by the time this video goes live, hopefully the first video should be live on the Patreon at that point in time. And then any follow videos will be available as time goes on. I've got a couple of videos already edited or already recorded, that I get them edited and uploaded and so on and so forth. So that, and I'll be able to get these to you guys fairly quickly. And you know, tons and tons of cool stuff. So either way, that's all I've got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys learned something. If you've ever been in a position even close to where I have been, it's been a wild ride. So if you guys have stuck through all this video this past month, I really appreciate you guys. Those of you guys have been showing extra support over on Twitch has been a massive assistance beyond belief, much further than you understand. So I truly thank you guys. Anyone who decides to go this route to assist as well, again, I don't think there are words to express how much I appreciate everything that you guys would do, everything that you guys have done already to support me in this time. Either way, I could yap on forever, but I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. If there's anything I need to know, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Like if you enjoy, subscribe when you keep up with more, and thank you guys. Take care, my friends. Peace out.